It was a cold and bitter Christmas Eve in the bustling city of Havenbrook. Snowflakes danced through the air, blanketing the streets in a layer of pristine white. Amidst the festive decorations and joyous carolers, one man remained untouched by the holiday spirit. His name was Thomas Blackwell, a miserly and ruthless businessman known for his cold heart and iron fist. Thomas's wealth was only matched by his disdain for anything that did not contribute to his fortune. He scoffed at the merriment around him, his soul as frosty as the winter night outside. His employees feared him, and his neighbors avoided him. To Thomas, Christmas was nothing but a distraction from the pursuit of wealth. As the clock struck midnight, Thomas sat alone in his grand but lifeless mansion. The opulent decor did little to mask the emptiness that pervaded every corner of the house. The only sounds were the crackling of the fireplace and the howling wind outside. He sipped his brandy, a scowl etched on his face as he thought about the money he could have made if it weren't for the holiday shutdown. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind blew through the room, extinguishing the fire and plunging the mansion into darkness. The temperature dropped sharply, and Thomas shivered, wondering how the draft had gotten in. As he rose to investigate, the shadows in the corners of the room seemed to grow and twist, forming into a dark, menacing figure. A bone-chilling voice echoed through the room, "Thomas Blackwell, your time has come." Thomas froze, his heart pounding in his chest. "Who's there?" he demanded, his voice trembling. The figure stepped forward, revealing itself to be the ghostly apparition of his long-dead business partner, Jacob Marley. Marley's eyes burned with an otherworldly light, and heavy chains hung from his spectral form, clinking with every movement. The chains were grotesque, adorned with rusted locks, ledger books, and gold coins that oozed a dark, viscous substance. "Thomas," Marley intoned, "I have come to warn you. Your greed and callousness have doomed your soul. Tonight you will be visited by 3 spirits. Heed their warnings, or suffer a fate worse than mine." Before Thomas could respond, Marley's form twisted and contorted, his face dissolving into a grotesque mask of agony. His screams echoed through the room as he was consumed by darkness, leaving behind an eerie silence. Thomas's mind raced, torn between disbelief and fear, but there was no denying the chill that had settled in his bones. As the clock struck 1, a soft light began to emanate from the doorway. A figure draped in shimmering, translucent robes entered, its face gentle yet somber. It was the ghost of Christmas past. "Thomas," the spirit said, "come with me. It is time to witness the moments that shaped your heart." The ghost extended a glowing hand, and despite his protests, Thomas found himself pulled through a swirling vortex of light. They emerged in a modest, warmly lit home. A young boy sat by the fire with his sister, their faces glowing with joy. "That's me," Thomas whispered, his voice choked with emotion. "And my sister, Clara." The scene shifted. Years passed in moments, and Thomas watched as his younger self grew distant and cold after Clara's death. He saw himself betray friends, abandon love, and make ruthless decisions, all in pursuit of wealth. Tears streamed down Thomas's face. "I didn't know. I didn't realize," he murmured, his heart aching with regret. The spirit's eyes glimmered with pity. "Remember these moments, Thomas. They are the foundation of your prison." As the clock struck 2, the scene dissolved, and Thomas found himself back in his mansion. But the silence was shattered by the sound of heavy footsteps. A jovial, larger-than-life figure appeared, surrounded by a warm, golden glow. This was the ghost of Christmas present, but there was a sharpness to his laughter that made Thomas uneasy. "Thomas Blackwell," the spirit boomed, his voice reverberating through the room. "Come with me and see the world as it is." The ghost led Thomas through the bustling streets of Havenbrook, where families gathered in warmth and love despite their modest means. But as they moved through the city, the golden glow faded, revealing shadows lurking in the corners. They visited the Cratchit family, where Tiny Tim's frail form seemed even smaller in the dim, flickering candlelight. "Look at them," the ghost said, his voice heavy with sorrow. "Even with so little they find happiness." And you, with all your wealth, hoard misery. Thomas tried to look away, but the ghost's hand forced his gaze back. The shadows around the Cratchits grew darker, taking the shape of gaunt, skeletal figures. Tiny Tim's form faded, leaving only a small, empty chair. "No!" Thomas cried. "I can help them. I can change." The spirit nodded solemnly. "You must act, Thomas. Time is running out." As the clock struck 3, the warm glow was replaced by an oppressive darkness. A hooded figure shrouded in shadows stood before Thomas. The ghost of Christmas yet to come. The ghost's presence was suffocating, its silence more terrifying than any words. It beckoned Thomas forward, and they moved through a desolate landscape. Havenbrook was unrecognizable, its streets abandoned and buildings crumbling. They arrived at a neglected graveyard, where a single, unmarked grave stood. The ghost pointed to the grave, its hand a skeletal claw. "Whose is it?" Thomas whispered, his voice barely audible. The spirit remained silent, but Thomas's legs carried him forward. He read the inscription on the tombstone. "Here lies Thomas Blackwell, forgotten and unloved." "No!" Thomas cried, falling to his knees. "This cannot be my fate. Please, spirit, tell me there is hope. Tell me I can change." The ghost's form began to dissolve, and Thomas found himself back in his mansion, the clock striking 4. The fire roared back to life, casting a warm glow over the room. Thomas's heart raced, but he felt a newfound determination. "I will change," he vowed. "I will not let my life end in misery and regret." From that day forward, Thomas Blackwell became a new man. He opened his heart and his coffers, helping those in need and mending broken relationships. He ensured that no family in Havenbrook went without during the holidays and took personal care of Tiny Tim's medical needs. Thomas's transformation was nothing short of miraculous. The people of Havenbrook marveled at the change in him and welcomed him with open arms. He had learned that true wealth lay not in gold and silver, but in the love and kindness he shared with others. And so, Thomas Blackwell's story became a legend, a testament to the power of redemption and the spirit of Christmas. The once cold-hearted miser found warmth and joy in the laughter and love of his newfound family and friends. As the years passed, Thomas's legacy lived on, a reminder to all that even the coldest of hearts can find redemption. As the sun rose over Havenbrook on Christmas morning, the city awoke to a man transformed. Thomas Blackwell, once known for his cold heart and ruthless greed, now radiated kindness and generosity. He spent the day spreading joy, ensuring every family had a reason to celebrate. The laughter of children and the warmth of Tiny Tim's smile were his greatest rewards. Through the years, Thomas's story became a beacon of hope and redemption, a reminder that it is never too late to change. His legacy lived on, inspiring generations to embrace the spirit of Christmas, not in material wealth, but in love, compassion, and the shared humanity that binds us all. Thank you for watching, and remember, no matter how dark the path may seem, there is always a chance to find light. Merry Christmas, and may the spirit of the season fill your heart with joy and peace. Christmas tree.